Hey folks, Justin at Metcalf Mills. I was just doing a little walk around, look around, see how things are going, and I was going to share that walk with you. Just kind of show you some updates on things that I've done on some past videos and where they are now. So let's go check it out. Here at the sorghum cane, I've done a few experimental things on these aphids before I started fogging, but you can see that they're still hanging around. I done some just going through and kind of manually roguing them out, but you can see they're still present. And I'm going to hit them today with the Neem. I'm going to fog this patch with Neem, and we'll come back to this and see what kind of an effect it has. Also, we had some wind the other day, and you can see down Buckwheat Lane, it did blow a few stalks of the sorghum down. And what happens when that happens is it kinks not always, but most of the time, it will kink the stalk, the cane stalk, and when it kinks it, it kind of cuts off the circulation, if you will, and that juice inside the stalk will sour because it's not getting adequate flow and moving around like it's supposed to. So it sours and ruins the juice. If you get a bad blowdown, it can pretty much ruin your whole crop. Thankfully, it wasn't bad here. So the Hickory King corn, let's see, I'll show you what the crows like to do to your field corn. You can see on this one right here, if you can tell, they kind of pull the shuck back, shred it up, and they peck on it a little bit, but what it does, it opens the end of that ear up and so it can take on rain, and so you'll lose the whole ear after they tear into the end of it. So what I'm going to do to combat this, and I've never done it before, is take some of the VHS tape that I used earlier on when the corn was planted and just coming up to keep them from bothering. I'm going to stretch the VHS tape out up in the tops of some of my corn rows, so it'll be waving around in the wind and flopping, and I'm hoping that'll keep them out of this so they won't destroy any more of it. But that's what we're going to do about that. And also, I'm going to harvest these ears that they've tore into. I've been going through and just kind of breaking them down, just folding them down like that and leaving them hang. Sometimes they'll hang on, most of the time they'll hang on, and what that does, it keeps the rain from getting down in there. It sheds that rain off of the ear instead of it going down into the ear and ruining it. So I'm doing that, and if they come off, I'm going to take them home and experiment with drying them. And you know, if they've started dying down and they've dented already, they've got a dent in the kernel. See, right here's two that I had to break down the other day, and they're hanging on and they're drying nicely. But you can see what the crows do. They just go in there, just peck a few grains, and then they fly off. So it's really detrimental to the ear of corn when they do that. So we'll see what happens. We'll try that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Right here is where the pinto beans was, and I don't know, I think yeah, I did. On my video of sowing cover crop, I showed you that I was coming in here with some, yeah, you ain't surprised if you know me, mustard greens. Now you can see, right here's a baby mustard right there. So it is coming up, and there's more out through here in different spots, but it's gonna be yet another patch of greens. That don't hurt my feelings. I love mustard greens. I've got several different patches strode out around. Michelle over at Perma Pastures Farm commented the other day and said I probably had mustard green patches around 3 counties, and I think I responded, yeah, I would if I could manage all that for sure, but I'm not to that point yet, but I'm working on it. Right here's some of these cayennes. You can see got some of them getting red. I look forward to harvesting these babies and getting them for seed as well as some snacks. Over here, I'm a little ashamed to show you this, but I'm going to show you anyway. This is the tomatoes that I grew from suckers, and I didn't really take care of them. I had too much going on. I already had plenty of tomatoes. I just pretty much wanted to experiment and see how they would do. Well, I mean, not to be cared for, there's plenty of nice tomatoes right here. And actually, this is the Coles Windsall that I grew. The patch of these that I had, they did not do as good as these suckers did. The majority of the tomatoes on those, they split open. And this one's just starting to do that. Right here, you can see a little split. But this is uncared for. Where all my other tomatoes are played out right now, we're going to start eating fresh tomatoes again. So I'm excited about that. Appreciate these little plants doing their best when I didn't, or yeah, I'm not going to say couldn't because I don't want to be making excuses, you know, but it was an experiment, and I found out that, you know, you can make some nice tomatoes later by way of those suckers. Now this is the first mustard green patch that I sowed over between the creek and my sucker tomatoes, and you can see this is ready to pick and eat. So that's going to be happening real soon. If I didn't have pressing things to do today, I'd be down here picking it right now and getting a pot hot to cook this stuff. But anyway, I have to do other things, so I'll just have to be patient now that they're finally ready to pick. This is where I sowed the cover crop the other day. And you can see maybe these black oats or some of the rye coming up. And then you can see some of the yellow mustard down in there coming out. And it's not to eat, it's just cover crop. But you can also see right here, you can see the cowpeas or the field peas coming in. So this cover crop has come up really well. It looks like a nice even stand almost everywhere here. You can see all the little babies jumping up. Goes all the way down. So we got a nice stand on this cover crop. Over on the outside of the sorghum cane, and I wanted to show you the buckwheat. It's just starting to make some blooms. So it might be in time enough to help this last succession, my latest succession of sorghum cane. It might be some help to that. So next year I'm gonna put it in quite a bit earlier than I plan to do it this year, so that it can have a good established bloom ready for when we need those predator bugs of the sugarcane aphid to be present and eaten. So that's the plan for next year. All right, folks, we're out here the next day after I hit some of these populated spots of sugarcane aphid with the neem oil, and I just wanted to show you what that has done to these aphids in one day after I sprayed it. See on this leaf right here, you can see it was just slap dab covered up yesterday. Now watch, if I tap on this leaf, I don't know if the camera can catch it, but these things are just falling off in piles. And they're not moving around. They look like they're kind of drying up and getting to the end of their row. So the neem oil definitely put the smack down on them. And it's good timing. It'll cut off their their vampireness, I guess, to this stealing our sugar out of this sorghum cane just at the right time. Now this stuff hopefully can ripen up, do what it needs to do, be ready to turn off some nice sorghum syrup. So hope you enjoyed this little update. We're gonna be getting into picking some mustard greens, like I said earlier, real soon, cooking those. I'm really excited. Got a lot of other good stuff coming up. If you will, like this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, go ahead and like it too. You ain't gonna hurt nobody's feelings. I promise you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Even if you hit dislike, you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you've not already. I look forward to seeing you next time.